hobbies?
Yeah, I do a lot of different stuff. Fish, ocean fishing, snowboarding,
Okay.
while I can. And, yeah, really fishing and snowboarding is my main thing. Boating this summer, we'll be boating.
Okay,
On the boat.
sounds like fun. And then something no one knows about you.
Something no one knows about me. I have a duck named Quackers.
Crackers. I love it.
She
That's
doesn't
awesome.
quack, she purrs.
Didn't know that.
That's awesome.
All right, forward, backward, and then the laser pointer is right above it. So
All right,
you
y'all.
but
So
you shouldn't need that
that's
because
covered. Full in a nutshell.
All
Yay.
right.
Take it away, sir.
So, today is an interactive day. You guys are going to use your basic calculator on your phone because it's simple interest, understanding simple interest, and why all mortgages have to use it by law.
Okay.
Why is that? What is simple interest? Well, it is legally called simple interest. Where's the laser?
the right one. Yep.
Oh, this
And you're gonna have to
one.
do. Oh, there you go. Do it again. Do it again.
Oh, my bad.
There it is. So that one. Then you
Oh.
gotta hit it again. I did it for you.
Okay, so simple interest means every month you're getting billed based on a simple equation. Simple interest is the legal term they use. And it's based on whatever that balance is that month, not the original balance. So simple interest is the cheapest way in America, anywhere, to borrow money. There is no cheaper way. There's other things, there's new stuff coming out, but there is no cheaper way that you can borrow money that compares to simple interest. When you look at your credit card, when you look at that interest rate, it's different than looking at a simple interest rate. When you flip that credit card statement over, it's compounding, revolving interest. And it's hard for me to even follow their equation to figure out. Good way is look at the end result. Everybody knows a credit card payment is the minimum interest payment. It can take forever to pay off. Car loans used to be simple interest. They're not anymore because it's benefits us. It's the cheapest way to borrow money. A car loan will amortize it over a term. The term has, and we'll get into the term and how simple interest is exactly the same regardless of the term. But on a car loan, if you pay extra, you can pay your payments in advance. Well, what does that mean? That means they're applying it to the interest that's amortized over the term. So if you pay your car off early, it ain't gonna help you. You're still paying the full interest over the full term. So be careful with car loans because unless they're specific on this is simple interest, any extra payments isn't going to the principal to pay your car off sooner. It's going to the interest that's amortized over the term. They're getting that first before they apply it to principal. Your best with a car loan, you're best saving that money, getting the written payoff and paying it off at once. Because again, your extra payments are just paying them their interest in advance. Simple interest, you're not allowed to pay advanced monthly payments in advance. Because by law, anything over the minimum or interest payment has to go to your principal debt to pay it off. So that's why it's the cheapest way to borrow money. And you guys are going to be able to practice this simple equation on a calculator, on your mortgage statement, when it breaks down your principal interest and everything. You're going to be able to type in that exact balance to the dollar and cent and do this equation, and it's going to come out to the exact interest. Another thing is on a 30-year versus a 15-year. Especially in today's day and age, the old school mindset is, the 15 years better. And they used to tear that rate down a little more when rates were better because when you understand simple interest, you realize that a 15-year is charging you just as the exact same way. It's just disciplining you to pay more principal so that the very next month, the balance is lower. So you always have, in today's day and age, We like the 30-year smaller payment so you can be more in control. A lot of people want to be disciplined to pay the bigger amount. Well, I'd rather, we like the cheaper payment, especially with simple interest, so that you can dictate extra the principal and have your extra net money, that valuable money, so that you could invest in the Roth IRA. And that's what, we can, because I'm finding that's even more valuable. A 30-year with the cheaper payment, invest the difference that you were going to pay on a 15-year, and let's see where you stand in 15 years, and you got $1 million in the bank, and how's really low balance when that time comes. It really is making a lot of mathematical sense. So, and especially right now, us licensed loan people after the 08 crash, we get the same salaried commission whether you get a no-cost rate or a buy-down rate or a rate with rebate. We have no financial interest in the rate or fees charged on a home loan. So the burden has fallen on the borrower to choose the right rate. Back in the 20th century mindset, when you can buy a house for 208 or 80 grand or 200, it could mathematically make sense to choose or get the higher rate with no cost. But nowadays, rate affects payment way more than balance or price. We've lost over $1,000 or over $100,000 in buying power since rates were at their lowest in the last 3 years when rates went up. So prices didn't fall 100 grand, but people who can buy houses now could afford less. They lost over 100 grand in buying power. So let's everybody get out their calculator. Let's get into it, because every month they have to do this. Get your calculator out. We're going to start, and this is why when you see a simple interest rate, you cannot have the same reaction you do like on a credit card rate, because when you do this equation and plug in any rate, until we get over 100 grand, there's not going to be a big difference in the monthly interest. So we're going to start with $1,000. We put 1,000 times.
Hit your.
I'll just times, hit times. I forgot. I don't want to mess with it. I'm in a groove right now.
You're good. Just if you use the right arrow and then the laser up top, you should be good.
This is the.
I spruced.
Okay, here we go. The laser. So balance, 1,000. Hit the times. Anybody want to use any interest rate? Let's go with a 3. We're going to hit 3%. That's just 0.03 when you hit the percent. So 1,000 times 0.03, or hit the percent sign, equals, what does everybody have? $30. That's annually. That equals your annual. Then we're going to take that $30 and we're going to divide it by 12. Can anybody guess why 12?
12 months.
12 months in a year. So we're going to divide that by 12. Equals. What do you get?
$2.50.
$2.50. When we talk about HELOCs, if you used $1,000 on a simple interest, or if you had a simple interest credit card and used $1,000, the very next month your interest payment at 3% would be $2.50. Pretty cheap, huh? Cheap money.
Yeah.
Let's do that same $1,000. Claire, put 1,000. And let's use 9%. 9 or 0.09 equals, what do you guys got?
$90.
$90. Let's divide by 12 because we got 12 months in a year. How much is that?
$7.50.
$7.50. 9%, our mind goes, oh, that's high. But if you had a credit card where you used $1,000 and the next month the interest was $7.50, you have a little more, that's pretty cheap in my eyes.
Yeah.
It's real cheap. We're not even getting into tax advantages of being able to write off your simple interest with home loan interest. So let's do another equation real quick while we have it on. Let's use 10,000 times 9, hit the percent sign, or 0.09 equals, we have 900, we're gonna divide that by 12.
75.
$75. Imagine if you had a magical simple interest credit card at 9% and you charge 10 grand and the next month, and we're not even getting into writing it off, was $75. Would you say that's cheap money for 10 grand
Yes.
compared to all the other avenues we have to
Yep.
borrow money?
Yep.
And that's at 9%.
Yeah.
So that is the whole reason mortgages have to use simple interest. And that is the equation they use every month, whether you have a 10-year term, a 15-year term, or a 30-year. It's charged exactly the same based on whatever your balance is. The term is somebody just figured out how it worked out over that. That's why they say you can pay a mortgage off faster. Because if you pay more, it has to go to the principal first. And the next month, the balance is lower than what it was supposed to be. They're still doing that equation. Now your fixed payment has more going to principal than it should, or than the normal time frame. So once you understand simple interest, it will make a lot of sense when it comes to comparing, and even just comparing, should I do this? You can take your balance, go to the going rate, and compare the interest portion. So it is that simple, and that's how they do it. That's it.
Sir.
So hopefully
You wanna
that'll
get
give
one
you
more
more.
on the
Oh,
right? Yep, and then there it is.
there's your monthly interest due. And that's why when we look at HELOCs
Yeah.
and second mortgages, and we get into the benefits of those, and why HELOCs are adjustable rate, because the credit unions would make no money. They really wouldn't. It's very minimal. It really benefits us, the borrower, over anything, and that's why only home loans will use it, or has to use it under the laws. So
Sweet. Awesome. Good job.
Oh, that's how they benefit doing bi-weekly payments on their mortgage.
yeah, and I really want to implement too, because the reason we want to reach out to home buyers or homeowners right now is because if we consolidate, save that money, and invest, you build that. I mean, I'm finding it is like when you add up payments and compare the numbers, that investing in the Roth IRA and getting and securing the family that way, on top, and saving money, getting a household. Well, now we're saving this much money. We're in a position to pay off debt faster. Now we can invest. And can you imagine in 10, 15 years doing that and making that net money work better? So that was
Sweet.
I've been
Good
really
job.
focusing on that, how